Business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. Richard Branson.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. Only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results.
Good afternoon. It is exactly 4 p.m. East African time here in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for always keeping it TV47, even as I get you informed on the latest at this hour. We begin now where the Director of Public Prosecutions has recommended corruption charges against Bomet Governor Hilary Kipngeno Barchok and former Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati over alleged misuse of public funds. Governor Barchok is accused of receiving over 2.7 million shillings from companies that traded with the county, while Wangamati faces charges linked to embezzlement of 70 million shillings through irregular tenders. The DPP has also directed further investigations into Kiambu Governor Paul Kimani Wamatangi and Marsabit Governor Mohamed Mahmoud Ali, both linked to multi-million shillings procurement scandals. The cases involve allegations of conflict of interest, unlawful acquisition of public property and abuse of office. Of course, more of that story in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Away from that, the government has been barred from constructing a permanent church or any religious structure within State House or any official presidential residence across the country. The temporary orders were issued by High Court Judge Chacha Mwita following a petition filed by rights organizations, including the Kenya Human Rights Commission and Katiba Institute. In his ruling, Justice Mwita noted that the proposed construction raises fundamental questions about the separation of religion and state, questions that warrant urgent judicial scrutiny. The court has directed all parties involved to file their responses within 7 days ahead of the full hearing scheduled for November 18, 2025, when the matter will be determined. And away from that, an Nakuru-based surgeon has filed a petition at the High Court challenging President William Ruto's decision to establish a presidential panel of experts to oversee compensation for victims of demonstration. Dr. Magare Gikenyi argues that the president acted outside the constitution by unilaterally creating the panel, citing Article 132, Section 4, which requires Public Service Commission input before establishing any public office. He claims the panel duplicates functions already assigned to independent institutions such as the Judiciary, KNCHR, IPOA, ODPP, and the Victims Protection Agency. The petition also questions the panel's legality, transparency, and funding, calling it a political move that undermines constitutional principles and misuses public resources. Dr. Magare is seeking a court declaration to nullify the panel, halt its funding, and reaffirm the role of existing institutions in handling victims' compensation.
Raised concerns over escalated brutality Protesters flooded the streets.
And away from that, President William Ruto has honored Harambee Stars for their spirited performance at the African Nations Championship CHAN by pledging to cover half the cost of a two-bedroom affordable house for each player. The offer comes after the team was eliminated in the quarter-finals by Madagascar, missing out on the full 2 million shillings housing reward initially tied to a semi-final qualification. Each player will now receive a 1 million shillings subsidy and can choose the location of their house under the government's affordable housing program. The president also announced increased cash awards for team sports and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to investing in sports infrastructure nationwide.
And we've achieved so much.
The roomed house that we had agreed on under our current arrangement in affordable housing costs 2 million shillings. We are going to pay for you half that amount. We're going to pay for you 1 million shillings. You pay the other 1 million, or we will give you a mortgage you can pay over 20 years. And you are going to be paying something, like 2,000 or 3,000 every month. So it is affordable. Nasikia nyinyi vijana? And there is no room for exchanging the house with money. There is only the house. And as I told you, you will choose a house in a town you like. If you want it in Nairobi, if you want it in Mombasa, if you want it in Kisumu, Eldoret, Nakuru, wherever, we are developing housing in every town.
And a nurses' demonstration in Lamu County turned chaotic after police officers used tear gas to disperse the crowd, leaving one nurse hospitalized following the commotion. The nurses, who have vowed to continue with their strike, accused county authorities of violating their rights by denying them access to the governor's office to present their grievances. Their demands include improved working conditions, timely salaries, and implementation of long-standing agreements. Mokowe Police Station Commander Dixon Mwendwa defended the police action, stating that the group lacked a valid permit to access county offices. The incident comes amid a nationwide nurses' strike that began on August 8th, with health workers citing years of neglect and stalled negotiations with county governments.
Tumekuja tushughulikiwe, lakini kwa bahati mbaya imekuwa ni huzuni kubwa na masikitiko. Tumekatazwa, security imesimama pale, imetupinga njia ya kwenda kwa county office ya county, ofisi kubwa ya county yetu ya Lamu. Na raha leo waguzi tumewekwa chini kabisa, na hii ni serikali ile tulishabikia sana, tukaisaidia ikuwe kwa mamlaka, tukifikiria tutainuka sisi wauguzi kama wauguzi ili tupate kuhudumia wateja wetu.
Hii ni mara ya 3 tunazuiliwa na polisi ili tusimuone mwajiri wetu mkuu, na kama wauguzi wa kaunti ya Lamu, hii ni mojawapo wa kuonyesha kwamba mwajiri wetu hayuko tayari kutusikiza. Ujumbe tunao ni kwamba gavana wetu yuko kwa ofisi. Leo niko na hasira sana kwa hii jambo imefanyika, na tunaomba upande wa polisi waweze kuzingatia sheria katika kazi zao. Sisi ni wauguzi. Tunapoongea saa hii, wauguzi hawa hawajalipwa mishahara ya miezi miwili.
Hivyo basi tunamwambia mwajiri wetu ya kwamba harakishe mishahara itolewe, kwa sababu ni haki yetu. Tumefanya kazi miezi 2, tunahitaji kulipwa haraka iwezekanavyo ili tukapate kurudia hali zetu za kawaida na tuendelee na maisha yetu kama wao pia vile wanaendelea.
Innovation and sustainability will headline this year's Nairobi International Trade Fair as the Agricultural Society of Kenya prepares exhibitors for the 7-day showcase through a strategic orientation forum held at Jamhuri Park. The 2025 edition, running from September 29th to October 5th, will focus on climate-smart agriculture and inclusive trade models under the theme Promoting Climate-Smart Agriculture and Trade Initiatives for Sustainable Economic Growth. During the exhibitors forum, participants were briefed on safety protocols, branding standards and award criteria, key elements aimed at enhancing professionalism and impact. ASK officials emphasized that the fair will spotlight youth-led innovation, market linkages and cross-sector collaboration across agribusiness, livestock and technology.
Today's theme and the pillars are very crucial in ensuring that we create a robust manufacturing system, and this theme aligns with the government economic transformation agenda and our focus on agriculture sector, which employs over 70% of the rural population, contributes nearly 33% of the GDP for Kenya, is particularly vulnerable to climate shocks such as drought, floods and erratic weather conditions.
This year we convene under the theme Promoting Climate-Smart Agriculture and Trade Initiatives for Sustainable Economic Growth.
As a wide reach, we are able to reach even students. We are going to attend to them, answer each and every question that they have, any innovation that we have, let them feel free to come and see, and also be able to go and practice in their farms. We will also be able to follow up on them.
Kenya's engineers are calling for urgent government intervention to address rising unemployment in this sector, with the Institution of Engineers of Kenya pushing for the absorption of at least 10,000 unemployed professionals into national projects. Speaking during a peaceful march in Nairobi, IEK President Engineer Shama Kiteme accused foreign firms of sidelining local talents and urged the government to prioritize Kenyan engineers in key sectors, including energy, aviation, housing and agriculture. The engineers also submitted a petition to top government officers demanding enforcement of labor laws and fair access to opportunities funded by public resources.
We need to respect our own laws, and they require that we reserve certain percentages of supplies, works and goods within the law to make sure they are reserved for Kenyans and citizens. And therefore, we want to address this matter and ask those who sign below the dotted line in these bilateral agreements and G2G engagements, they factor in Kenyan law. We have seen advertisements, an expression of interest, which are exclusively to maybe Korean firms, to Chinese firms. And we ask ourselves, why don't you go then advertise this in Beijing or in Seoul? Why are you advertising it in Kenya, in Nairobi? So that is kind of a situation we are saying we have weak bilateral agreements, and people do not appreciate the fact that we need to secure these infrastructure projects for Kenyan engineers.
And in the world of sports, Kenya national men's football champions Kenya Police FC will have to be at their best at the upcoming Sekafa Kagame Cup after they were drawn in Group A alongside Tanzania's Singida Black Stars. The group also features Ethiopian Coffee SC and Garde Cortes FC of Djibouti. The 2024 runners-up APR Rwanda were placed in Group B alongside NEC FC and Buramuru FC. The tournament, which features a total of 12 teams, will run September 2nd to the 15th in the Tanzanian capital, Dar es Salaam. All right, that's all.
Not only good for us, also it is good for Africa as a whole. And you see that is the competition level that we had in the CHAN. So this is one of the indications that we can move to another level. So
sababu sisi Sekafa tumekuwa na mashindano mengi. Tunakuwa mashindano ya vijana, ya wanawake, ya vilabu pia kwa wanawake. Sasa hivi tunacheza kwa mfano mwezi huu tena hapa Nairobi kutakuwa na mashindano ya wanawake ya Sekafa kwa clubs. Ni jambo jema kuhakikisha kwamba sisi vijana wetu au maeneo yetu ya Sekafa timu zetu zinakuwa katika mashindano ili kuweza kufanya vizuri.
All right, that concludes 4 p.m. now with Sheilar Chelangat. More of those stories in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Do enjoy the rest of your viewership. Good afternoon.